my desktop audio and my audio.
It's time. You check that thing, girl.
Yes, okay. Okay, we're good. The audio is working. You know, at this stage, it has worked every time, so I really shouldn't, like, be worried about checking it, but I'm going to every single time, even though it's a little bit scuffed.
It's probably worth it, because there was the one time that I didn't check my Castlevania audio, and there was a whole stream where I didn't speak at all.
Yeah, that also happened to me in a stream. I forget when it was, though. It was one of the very early ones that I did.
Yeah.
And so that's why every single stream, we always go through this little runabout at the beginning where I'm like, I gotta check the audio, guys. I gotta make sure.
You never know when it's gonna, for some reason, OBS is gonna say, oh, you wanted the mic to come from your mouse cord, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, welcome back, everyone, to Umineko. I actually don't remember where we left off. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We're in the guest house because we got new visuals for the guest house.
Yes. Everybody locked in immediately.
Yeah, this one is the game. This is the game where the adults win. I'm putting all my money on them. I totally won't lose.
Otherwise, let's see. We had the whole conversation about Schrodinger's cat.
Yes.
Box.
We learned that the Schrodinger's cat is actually applicable to this entire situation, and it's one of the few weapons usable against Beatrice.
Yep, we learned, as Virgilia put it, little gremlins in the
little
tubes.
Gremlins in the brawn tubes. They use magic to create images, and you can't prove that's not true until you open the brawn tube. Stupid.
Exactly, you got to open that brawn tube. There's a lot of that.
Battler immediately fixated on that, and instead of just using a similar analogy, no, every time he has to say brawn tube.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh, that's right. There was a big argument with him and Beatrice, and he, like, won.
Yeah. Yep.
That was the big hotness last time.
He got Beatrice to... Because Beatrice was panicking, and so she was starting to lose her footing, and she was about to, as the two... We were calling them the refs. Virgilia and Ranove. As the two referees put it, she basically was about to sacrifice a bunch of pieces because she was panicking, and then Ranove was like, hold up, Beatrice, calm down.
Like, me and my client would like to take a minute aside.
And then Beatrice came back and she was like, I can see.
Yeah, she was, my lawyers who advised me to tell me to quit it.
Yes. But that was all in fancy Tea Party Witch Realm, 4th dimension. Yeah. Now we're back on the game board dimension. And as it says, they are under siege.
Yep, they're locked in a room all together. But they also had just figured out... Well, no, they hadn't just figured out, but they figured out the whole thing of the interconnected, looping, locked rooms.
Yes, yeah. It is feasible that it happened. It simply was an accident.
Yeah.
The killer had an accident and died. That's our thumbnail for this stream, isn't it? It's the
It is.
There you go.
Yeah. It was actually kind of hard to find that, surprisingly.
Dang.
But I got it.
All right. Well, without further ado. When being besieged, your true enemy isn't so much the fear of an unseen culprit, as it is keeping such fears alive for long periods of time. Last episode I forgot to mention, but there were points where I had been thinking, man, it's been a long time since I've had to be Maria.
And wouldn't you know it?
And I was kind of grateful. We went a whole episode. I think we might have gone 2 episodes where I didn't have to be Maria.
Yeah, we spent a long time with either a flashback of the adults or...
It was a lot of adults and Battler and Beatrice. Yeah. And new characters.
Yeah.
Maria got bored and started complaining that she wanted to watch TV. There was no TV in the lobby, so she decided to return to the cousin's room on the 2nd floor. Uh-oh. Don't split the party. Don't split the party. That's when things happen.
Oops.
The adults probably wanted to make sure Maria wasn't left on her own. They told all the children to go to the second floor cousin's room. George, who was grief-stricken by the loss of his fiancée, led the cousins up to the second floor without any resistance. At first, Nanja had been reading a book in the lobby, but when he noticed the relatives looking like they wanted to discuss something sinister, he said, "It seems I am in the way," and returned to his room on the second floor.
Yeah. I'm starving. And if we just keep sitting around, we'll get sleepy too. It's only natural. We didn't get any sleep at all last night.
We will probably end up being barricaded here for a full 24 hours. It may be wiser to take naps in turn instead of overstressing ourselves.
They're so smart this time.
True. My husband and I will remain here, so I ask that anyone having trouble staying awake take it easy and rest.
Our opponent might be expecting that, right? Even if they couldn't defeat this many people, if that number shrinks enough, they may plan to use that moment to strike.
There are 7 of us here, so we could take 3-hour shifts in pairs. Tomorrow morning's a long way off. We still have some energy now, but tonight's gonna be tough.
Sure will. Anyone sleepy? Don't overdo it and get some rest. Hideyoshi looked around at everyone to see who wanted to sleep first, but no one volunteered. DM long rest moment.
Yeah.
Who wants to go on watch? Everyone was just as tired, but no one was bold enough to go to sleep right away. Their fear of the unknown culprit was just as strong as their sleepiness. Nobody? Well, don't overdo it, everyone.
If we get tired, we'll deal with it then. I'll admit I'm sleepy, but I'm not in the mood now.
As Ava spoke sharply, she reread the second letter from Beatrice, which had been found in the boiler room. Yeah, I don't think we actually got that one read to us.
I don't think so either.
Beatrice had sent them 2 letters, which had repeatedly told them to solve the riddle of the epitaph. And she'd even provoked them by saying she'd give up her assets and the headship if they could solve it. Ava took out a notebook and opened it to a page with the epitaph copied onto it. Oh, are we gonna get some epitaph solving, finally, after 3 episodes?
That's all it took.
Like, 20 hours?
Is this that epitaph?
Yes. I hate doing what the culprit says, but we do have time to waste. I think it's the perfect way to stave off boredom.
And not a bad way to kill time. Why don't we challenge it together, as siblings?
Can I borrow that? I'll rewrite it just a little larger. Natsuhi-san, do you have a slightly larger piece of paper? There should be paper in the servant room. I will bring some.
Natsuhi immediately brought a blank B4 sheet of paper from the servant room. Thanks for the proper paper identification.
Yeah, I was actually, I'm going to be honest, I was just about wondering, like, what's going to be bigger than letter-sized paper? Like, I was...
They couldn't possibly have B4.
That's exactly what I was doing, but I was like, is it going to be legal?
Kyrie borrowed Ava's notebook, wrote out the epitaph on the paper, and laid it out on the table. Then, everyone quickly peered down at it. They automatically formed a crowd. I've heard about it, but really, this is a tough riddle. I don't have a clue what it's talking about.
At one point, I also did my best to solve it, but I was just as clueless. If you did, you wouldn't have come all the way out here with a plan to make money. After all, it's 10 tons of gold we're talking about.
This is the first time I've read through it seriously, but roughly speaking, couldn't it be split into 3 parts?
I've been thinking this since last night, But you really are a good thinker, Kyrie-san. Perhaps you'll be able to easily solve this riddle that we couldn't.
Yeah. Kyrie's sharp. She might find a more interesting take on it if she comes in without any confusing biases.
Dang, Rudolph, you managed to get a smart woman to marry.
A smart... He wouldn't say a smart woman, he'd say a smart one.
Yeah.
That's right. Kyrie-san, would you mind giving us your honest opinion after reading the epitaph?
I doubt you'll find it useful. You all give me too much credit.
That's fine. Just say whatever comes into your head. Let's hear your thoughts. The hints you give always help me out when I'm worried.
Oh, so I have been helpful. It's nice to finally hear about this now.
Ha! Come on. Don't I always thank you? The way she appeared! You two sure are close. I'm jealous. And the rest of us would also love to hear these hints of yours. We're just killing time anyway, so relax, okay?
Can't get a husband, can't get a husband.
True.
Kyrie was disturbed at being praised so highly for something so strange. But they had all the time in the world. Realizing that this was just a way to waste time, she decided to accept the role she had been given. I'm sure I'll say something off the mark, but, well, I'll put forward my ideas. Indeed. What did you mean in the beginning about how it could be divided into 3 parts, roughly speaking? Huh.
Ooh.
There it is. It's been a while, so I'll give you all a visual of it for just a second.
Yep.
All in red, funnily enough. I don't know if that's intentional or not.
I don't think it is particularly.
Okay. You never know. You never know, Umineko.
Yeah.
Well, I just mean what I said. I think that overall, the epitaph can be divided into 3 sections. First, there are the 5 lines up until "There sleeps the key to the gold." Up until this point is the first part, which directs you to the location of the key.
The vine boom sound effect.
Yeah.
And then there's the part formed by the 11 lines up until the 10th twilight, which refer to the location of the Golden Land itself. And the remaining 6 lines make up the part after the Golden Land has been reached.
Now here's the question. Do you think the devs, when they wrote this stuff and made it, do you think they made it to where it was set up in 3 parts and then they had Kyrie say that? Or do you think they just had Kyrie say that to make her sound smart?
Knowing how intricately put together this story seems to be, I don't think the devs did. I think the author did, though.
Well, true, yeah, it's just the one guy, I should say. It's just Ryukishi.
I feel like knowing how long and intricate and the praises everyone sings of this story and how well put together it is, I bet it was done like that intentionally ahead of time. Yeah. Perhaps at first he never intended to have anyone be like, oh, it's in 3 parts, but I feel like he initially, when he made it, was like, I'm gonna make these 3 chunks for special reasons or something.
I always wonder, it's gotta be tough as an author to write somebody. If you're a mystery author, it's gotta be tough to write a character that cracks some of the mystery.
But doesn't completely solve it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which props to Ryukishi, because I think Kyrie is a good example of that.
Yeah, she's smart.
She's smart, but she's never quite always. She's not solving things, but she
doesn't get the whole.
She usually
answer.
gives hints that are very helpful in her own deductions.
Yeah. But
I see. It can be divided into 3 parts about the key, the Golden Land, and the Golden Land's treasure.
Even we have been able to grasp that much. The 3 sections that refer to the key, the door, and the treasure.
Nissan, don't butt in any more than you have to. And let Kyrie-san speak her ideas freely.
Let her cook.
Kyrie, Please continue. We see it the same way you do so far. So then?
I wonder about the meaning of that thing in the beginning. The beloved hometown. Normally that would refer to where grandfather lived, right? Since father went to all the trouble of telling us that it's beloved, we can imagine that it's a hometown he had strong feelings for. Did father come from Odawara?
Odawara is definitely where he was born, but I don't think that's the hometown he loved. I imagine all of us siblings have the same place in mind. Right. This probably isn't Odawara. From what I've heard, he had a very fun time as a youth. Being made the Ushiromi family head was probably Dad's greatest bit of misfortune in life.
Probably. Father didn't actually want to become the head.
So, where is this place? Is there a river where sweetfish swim?
And maybe there was at the time, and there's been a lot of development there since then, and the sweetfish might have disappeared. I don't know what a sweetfish is.
Sweetfish.
Okay. It would be extremely difficult to investigate whether sweetfish were there during grandfather's boyhood years.
I'm assuming it's just a type of fish called a sweetfish.
Probably. I'm gonna do some sleuthing.
And there probably isn't just a single river. I believe we all gave this a thorough investigation geographically. You even went to the actual place to to investigate it directly, right, Ava?
Okay, it is in fact just a type of sweetfish native to East Asia.
There you go.
Simple enough. That was only as a vacation, but the townscape had changed completely since Father's time. After all, it was caught up in that war, wasn't it? By now, even precisely locating the place Father lived is impossible.
You know, that war.
The war?
The war. I mean, if there is any war to call the war, it probably would be World War II.
This does take place in 87, so...
Yeah. I'm assuming
I imagine.
that's the war, because that would be the last war that Japan fought in before this.
Yeah. Or is it 86? I can never remember. I think it's 86. But point is, yeah, that is correct. I imagine that if Father went there himself now, even he wouldn't be able to pick out the place he lived anymore. Well, after all, those guys have also gone through a remarkable recovery.
Does the part about a sweetfish river bring any place name clearly to mind?
Well, yeah. After all, they're sweetfish, right? People say they live in rivers with clean water, so there are countless rivers that might work. Any stream Dad innocently went sweetfish fishing in was probably buried by the development later. It'd be different if we had a map from before the war, or a person who knew a lot about how the area was before the war, but...
It probably isn't something like that.
What do you mean?
Behold the Sweetfish River running through my beloved hometown. You who seek the Golden Land, follow its path downstream in search of the key. After these two lines, there's a single blank line. Something is being presented with just these two lines. What if the next three lines continue based upon that something?
What do you mean? Something is being presented.
I don't know. At any rate, what can we get from these two lines alone isn't something vague, like the question of which river it might be, but the clear presentation of the keyword river. It may be that this isn't a river with water flowing down it. The Sweetfish River might be some kind of metaphor. What sort of impressions does the word sweetfish give?
Fish? No.
yeah.
Sweetfish are like salmon. They're freshwater fish, but they go out into the ocean right after they're born. When they get big, they go back into the river to live there. And then they spawn there, and end their lives there. Well, they leave their home at one point, but when they get big, they come back and lay eggs. Might be able to link that to the idea of clan prosperity.
Just like Kinzo, they lay eggs. Oh. They're freshwater fish, but they can live in the ocean? I didn't know that. I figured river fish wouldn't be able to live in the sea.
Salmon is like the most well-known fish in the entire world, Rudolph, and you didn't know that?
You're not a fish man.
Yeah, true. Fair enough. Fair enough. Not everyone's a fish. I'm not a fish man.
Me neither.
And they are called sweet fish because they have a pleasant aroma.
Really?
I've never eaten one, but I have heard they can be quite delicious when grilled with salt.
What's that, Nazi son? You've never eaten salt-grilled sweet fish? They're delicious. You should try it sometime soon. It is a food for commoners. Hardly appropriate for your mouth.
Fellas, there are 6 people dead on this island.
Hey, give Kraus this one time to be nice to his wife.
Okay. This is just my wild idea. But the impression I get from a sweetfish river makes me suspect a family tree. The sweetfish go out into the ocean for a time, but they return to the river where they were born to spawn, right?
Oh, sorry.
What?
I had to open a can.
It reminds me of myself.
Huh?
Are you alright? By this point, I can confess that I've sometimes suspected that it refers to you and Maria-chan.
Huh? I see. If you follow the river downstream, you will find a village. I like to imagine he's pointing at Rosa right now while he's saying this.
I'm saying you're like a village because everyone's in you.
If you go down the family tree, all you'll find is Maria's name. Only her name has a ri or sato. The character father uses for village here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so that's a only her name has a that. Not a only her name has a, yeah.
Isn't that right? But as you all know, father doesn't like Maria, and he almost never speaks with her.
Not true, actually. Kenzo loved Maria more than any of you, and all of this was actually a ruse, and he was behind everything, and they're best friends, and it was all a prank.
And not just Beatrice.
Yep.
And in the past, father told me to give Maria a completely different name. I just decided to go with Maria on my own.
Craig.
Father was very mad about that. Given that, it's very hard to imagine that he would reference Maria's name in his precious epitaph about who would succeed his wealth and inheritance.
Have you ever let Maria-chan read the epitaph?
Yes, of course. But it looked as though she didn't have a clue. She didn't have a clue, and she kept going on about that same occult stuff, about how it was a resurrection ceremony for the witch.
A connection between father and Maria. Certainly they do share that occult hobby, but they never interacted. I can't imagine that it refers to Maria either.
What sticks out to me is how he went out of his way to add beloved to that first line. Like you all said just now, if father was reluctant about becoming the Ushiromiya family head, would he have fond memories for anything connected to that? I don't think this can be Odawara, which represents the Ushiromiya head family. I believe this word beloved here at the beginning must refer to a place full of very important memories to father.
Well, that's fine. It would be hard to pinpoint since we don't have even a trace of a map from that time. But at any rate, there were probably several rivers with sweet fish swimming in them near Dad's hometown during his youth. That's if we're looking for a river with water flowing down it, right? And then? Go on, Kirie-san.
I don't really understand the 3 lines starting with, if you follow the river downstream, you'll find a village. It's probably linked to the 2 lines about the Sweetfish River. I imagine it's something we'd understand automatically if we knew what the Sweetfish River really was. Until we figure that out, it's probably useless to try and solve those 3 lines any further.
So we're stuck unless we know what the Sweetfish River really is? And there's no guarantee it even means a literal river. Seriously, what's up with the sweetfish? Do Dad like to eat them? Or does it have some special meaning? Is it pointless to read too deeply into it?
Me doing this entire visual novel?
If you don't have both a micro and a macro perspective, you feel the vision grows narrow. It might be better to be flexible and avoid thinking too deeply. Focusing on an abstract image of a river where fish swim or as something that can flow, up or down. Then the answer behind the Sweetfish River passes through the next 3 lines and makes its way to the key to the Golden Land.
If you think about it this way, I wonder if it was a mistake to split it into 3 parts. There's actually 4 parts.
A reverse vine boom sound effect, double vine boom sound effect.
Go down the Sweetfish River, find the key to the Golden Land, journey to the Golden Land, the treasure of the Golden Land.
Truly intriguing. Well, you've gone this far. Would you mind continuing and telling us your opinion on the most central portion of the epitaph, up to the point when we reach the Golden Land on the 10th twilight?
That's the most symbolic and also the most disturbing part. Since the word sacrifices keeps coming up, I can't help but think it has something to do with Father's occult ceremonies. How do you see it, Kyrie-san?
Kyrie recrossed her arms several times, peering into the paper with the epitaph copied onto it as though she was looking through it. This is very difficult. It starts with the one who obtains the key. So you probably won't be able to continue without knowing what the key means. I'll have to give up on that, but I'll take a shot at trying to solve it anyways. Just like how the Sweetfish River...
Hey. And just like how the Sweetfish River isn't necessarily a river with water flowing down it, it's also doubtful that this key is actually something shaped like a key.
Right. It might also be a code or a key word. After all, this key isn't something to be stuck into a keyhole. It's something that selects 6 people to be sacrifices for the first twilight. In that sense, we can say for sure that this key isn't being used to open the door to the Golden Land. But what a disturbing key it is. A key that can choose 6 human sacrifices.
How would a key select anything? Do you spin it like a roulette? Now you're thinking, Hideyoshi.
Now you're thinking with roulettes.
Does he know?
This key indicates a certain group of 6 people. No, we should say it indicates a certain group of 6 things. If this doesn't mean a literal command to offer sacrifices. For example, it could be an anagram.
Huh?
An anagram? Do you mean playing with letters?
Yes. I've been thinking about it ever since Rosa started talking about the family tree, and about how a village was part of Maria-chan's name. It seems that ever since the words beloved hometown came up, Rudolph-san, for example, has assumed that this epitaph points to some coordinates or some other geographical feature. But that might not be the case. This could be some kind of puzzle, or maybe playing with letters. Forgive me, but how does one play with letters?
Oh, well, it's like... it's like sucker Mary barrels. What do you get when you take out the E's and R's?
Dang it. Dang it, Rudolph. Well, okay.
He's so real for that.
Okay. And of course he's saying this to Nazi
Yeah,
of all people.
like that. Well, you were raised well, Nazi-san, so you probably don't know.
Mary? Take out the E's and R's. Huh? Huh?
Stop it. It is an undignified game, inappropriate for you. Only Natsuhi didn't get it and had a blank look on her face. It seems she'd only guessed that the answer had to be something undignified, going by Rudolph and Ava's sniggers.
Yeah. Natsuhine-san, it's something like this.
Don't tell her, Rosa! Oh, okay.
This is just something from Maria's Book of Riddles, okay? There's this thing called a tanuki notebook. It's a notebook written like a code with a lot of tas mixed in. And if you remove all of the tas, then the true paragraph pops up. It's a game like that.
Oh, I see. Huh?
Natsuhi finally realized the answer to the undignified riddle Rudolph had posed, and her face grew red as she hung her head in embarrassment.
Hilarious.
She's
So
still my
maybe-
favorite adult.
Yeah. So maybe kill actually means remove in that sense, right?
Yes. I also thought that. It's possible that the key to the Golden Land is a word with 6 characters.
In other words, the ta from the Tanuki notebook is actually 6 characters here. This is getting complicated. Playing with letters, is it? In Japan, it really feels like a child's game, but apparently a stylish form of humor among intellectuals in the English world.
All I can
Maybe
think
it
about
was
is
in the
lick my
80s, I don't
balls.
know. Yeah. Suck my balls. It is easy to imagine that father was interested in it, that Westaboo.
He got ligma'd once and was like, I'm gonna make this the whole thing.
Yeah. It's just the entire epitaph is just one big Ligma joke.
Yep.
But by this point, I quickly lose my ability to understand it. Up until this part, it may have been filled with mysteries, but it was extremely sequential. Sweetfish River, go down it, then find the key. All of that is extremely sequential. And as a result, we can guess that we gain a 6-character key. But in that case, we now don't know what we kill the 6 characters from.
That's right. Where do we pull the 6 characters from? He doesn't tell us.
On the second twilight, there are those who remain. Which means, at the very least, that something has a limited number of characters. You could read it like it's telling you to continue with the remaining characters after the first 6 characters are removed. And yet, we don't know what this something is, even though it should have been shown to us at the beginning. Are we wrong even in our assumption that this is playing with letters?
I don't know why we got a from Hideyoshi right there.
It was important we knew he was thinking.
Everyone crossed their arms and fell silent. Felt like they were about to reach a novel understanding they hadn't managed before, but they just stumbled one step short. Then, Hideyoshi's stomach rumbled heartily. That silence was broken by laughter. Sorry. Strangely enough, by spinning the gears in my head for a change, my stomach's gone completely empty. Looks like I can't stand missing breakfast. Natsuhi, isn't there anything to eat here?
There should it be at least enough set aside for breakfast. I will prepare it.
I'm also starving. I'll bet those brats above us are the same. Still, I doubt there's enough for the 18 people here, much less a full 3 meals, right?
That's right. It'll be a long journey till tomorrow. Maybe we better take a trip back to the mansion and fish around for some canned food or something in the kitchen.
There's nothing more than crackers and snacks here, but if that will be sufficient, I can get them ready for you all. But with this many people, there might not be any left for lunch.
That will do for now. Would you mind getting those ready? It looked like the men had been taken over with an appetite that stopped all thought.
Been there.
The atmosphere grew more peaceful, and the epitaph investigation team split up for the time being. But Ava kept staring at the paper the epitaph was written on like she was going to burn a hole through it.
Playing around with letters was nothing more than a theory of mine. There's a chance it's mistaken. Ava-san, don't take it too seriously, okay?
Thank you. I'll just keep doing this on my own. Or would you mind leaving me alone?
Ava spoke coldly. Kyrie didn't bother her anymore, and instead went to help Natsuki prepare breakfast.
Nei-san, shouldn't we also help prepare breakfast? Then you go help. I'm busy solving this. Sorry. Then I'll help. Good grief. How can you be like that? Huh? The Ushiromiya family headship will be given to the person who solves this epitaph. It looks like you've given up from the beginning, as if it has nothing to do with you. But if you can solve it, there's a chance even you'll be able to receive the headship. This is a chance to steal everything from Nissan. Why aren't you taking such a once-in-a-lifetime chance more seriously?
Maybe she's Kenzo-pilled and she doesn't want it.
I...
Rosa hung her head, unsure as how she should answer. Too late, she regretted carelessly speaking to her sister when she was in a bad mood.
If you've noticed anything, say so. Even though Kirie-san and I were thinking hard, you just kept nodding your head, didn't you? Come on. Isn't there anything you've noticed? Come on! Don't you think this part's strange? Strange? What is? It's just that this whole section's written like a journey to the Golden Land, right? You reach the Golden Land and then you receive its treasures. But what's your point? You think there's some sort of keyword tied to those treasures? No, not the treasures themselves. Look in the 10th twilight. Isn't how you receive the treasures strange? Huh? Ah. Why does it say we'll receive the treasures once and for the last time? If we only get them once, then there's no point telling us it's the last time. And the same thing in reverse. Oh, but I'm probably splitting hairs over nothing if you think about it. This is Father we're talking about after all. He probably just said it that way to make it sound more dramatic. Nah, Rosa's stupid.
Oh,
Here we go again. You already know. Boring.
Oh? What is boring?
Boring.
My. What on earth is this child grumbling about?
She's probably annoyed by all the tips you gave Battle Summer, madam. Not really. That doesn't annoy me. On the contrary, I'm happy to see that useless battler finally reach a level where he can match me.
Oh, did Battler-kun and I get a little too close? Perhaps us old fogies had best leave you and the young'uns alone.
when Virgilia and Ronove giggled and cackled, Beatrice's irritation meter finally reached its limit.
Gah! Enough with everyone laughing at me! Ronove, vanish for a while! Disappear! Certainly. Then I shall rest for the time being.
Ronove bowed his head, still laughing, and vanished. After that, all that remained was the grumpy and irritated figure of Beatrice, and Virgilia, who was coolly enjoying her tea.
When you said there are no more than 18 people on this island, you actually cornered yourself.
I knew it. I did have this feeling it might be a bit too early. I suppose that was right after all, wasn't it?
If you had led him further astray first, things might have been different. But as it was, that trump card was a real waste. You ended up rousing him instead.
In addition to denying the witch, Battler had possessed a second victory condition, one of explaining everything without suspecting one of the 18. It was at that point, when he'd been tossed about by two opposing goals, that his heart should have been at its weakest. However, this is a funny still image to me.
Yeah.
Beatrice had used the red carelessly, proclaiming that there were no more than 18 people. Because of that, Battler had been forced to suspect one of the 18. And he had finally begun to build up the resolve he needed to accept that. Battler was stubborn, but that was exactly why fissures would run all through him, like breaking china when he was struck in a fragile spot. That itself should have been his greatest weak point, but...
Did I get a little too careless after my complete victory last time?
Yes, you were too careless. The last game was a difficult one for Battler-kun, but it seems this game will become a difficult one for you.
A broken vase will never return to its original form. So, it would be more constructive to think of a next move rather than regretfully picking up the pieces. However, now that Battler has figured out as much as he has, how should I plot against him?
Oh, your troubled face is an even better snack than Runaways cookies.
What do you mean by that? What do you...
Oh, you and Battler, and even Runaway are treating me like sweets now. Even though I'm not sweet at all.
With a shameful, childlike face that she would never have shown in front of Battler, Beatrice rolled her head around on top of the table.
Teacher, at least give me a hint.
Oh? What kind of hint?
If you know some really good move that'll leave Battler speechless and make him want to accept me. I won't ask you to say it outright, so, even if it's just a hint.
Oh, I can't. I'm on Battler-kun's side right now, so I couldn't teach you something that would give you an advantage.
Come on, don't be so stingy. Your disciple's in trouble, right?
I seem to remember you brazenly boasting that you had surpassed your teacher.
Oh, please act like an old person and give me just a bit of your crafty ideas.
Act like an old person.
Yeah. Please. It's mean if you only help Battler.
My. You're still a spoiled child. But it's true that I may have given Battler-kun a few too many hints. It did serve as a scolding to you, but perhaps it was a little too much support for a fair game.
Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Please, teacher, at least just a hint now.
This is only a hint. Think about what it means by yourself, okay?
Yeah. I'll think about it myself, so please. Please, give me one that'll leave Battler down in the dumps, teacher.
Considering how she acted like a great and mighty witch in front of Battler, the way she acted when he wasn't around was truly pathetic. Virgilia sighed as to how childish Beatrice still was, despite all the time that had passed.
Then, just a hint. Do you know of Aesop's fable, The North Wind and the Sun?
Didn't we talk about this in episode 1 with Kyrie?
Maybe. This fable has come up in a ton of stuff, and I can't keep straight where else it's been brought up.
Okay. I think it was in episode 1, Kyrie and Badler talked about it after the first murder happened.
Maybe.
Or no,
probably.
right before the first murder happened, because Kyrie died in the first Twilight in episode 1.
Yeah. Of course. It's a story about how the North Wind and the Sun challenge each other to see who can steal the cloak off a travelogue, right?
That's right. Violent, impatient methods aren't necessarily the best decisions in all cases.
You don't have to tell me that. I've already reflected on the mistakes I made when I was too anxious to achieve victory.
Think well about what this means. And furthermore, there's one point that Battler seems to be misunderstanding a bit, but he isn't the only one. Do you understand the victory conditions of this game?
Oh, what else is there other than making Battler surrender?
See? You're already wrong there.
How am I wrong?
Your victory isn't making Badler-kun surrender. It isn't making Badler-kun, isn't it making Badler-kun accept your existence?
Oh, what's this? You want me to butter him up, begging him to accept me as a witch? How foolish. I haven't sunk that low.
In the words of a famous VTuber, men are easy, just be nice to them. Grrr! Beato growled like a dog in a bad mood. Virgilia shrugged her shoulders, snickering at her disciple, who was as short-tempered as ever.
That is my hint. For the rest, you'll have to consider deeply on your own. In any event, your moves up until now will not work on Badler-kun. A significant tactical adjustment will probably be required.
I don't need you to tell me that. I don't have a clue what you mean by the North Wind and the Sun. But at any rate, I realize I'll have to alter my course. I'll introduce a scheme clever enough to surprise even you, teacher.
I look forward to it. I wonder how Badler-kun will tackle that. I wish you good luck as well.
After Battler, you mean? Old Testament Beatrice versus New Testament Beatrice.
Yeah, this episode 3 really has taken a turn for
Whoa!
It's been a minute.
Dang. Okay, give me a second. I'm terribly thirsty. Let me get a drink.
Yeah, no, take your time. For real though, chat, like he was just saying, the difference between episode 3 Beatrice and episode 1 and 2 Beatrice is kind of staggering. There have been hints, I think, in episode 1 and 2 that she's not all that she makes herself out to be on the outside, but I do also think a lot of it in that they talked about it in that scene of like she's kind of putting on a show for Badler. And now that we actually have other people in fourth dimension zone that she can talk to in private without Badler being there, she can kind of let some of her other side out because she's not trying to act it up all the time for him.
Battler and Beatrice are very, very complex characters, and I love that the further in we get, the more we get to see other sides of them beyond just the game. Okay, I'm ready. I haven't seen her in a while, though. If I remember, I tried to just do Ava's voice, but I tried to pitch it up, if I remember.
I think so.
Let's see if I can do it. Are you gonna give up and resign already? I guess you are that tired. If only you'd just grab a futon and sleep. I think that's normal, Ava.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. As my mind grew vague and I pretended to fight my drowsiness, while sinking deeper and deeper into the sofa, I scolded myself. You also dreamed about stealing the position of family head from Kraus, right? Even though my magic's given you a chance, are you already throwing it away? You could say that, but this riddle is really hard. Even a wire puzzle would be better. At least in that case, you know for sure that it's solvable. But in the case of this epitaph riddle, we've been given no reason to be sure of that. I might just be fighting a useless battle. Still hazy, I looked at the notebook I'd been holding the whole time. It was open to a page with the epitaph, which I must have stared at hard enough to burn holes in it on so many hundreds of nights I'd lost count. That page is truly a door. On the other side lies the Golden Land, the place I've wanted to drag myself to no matter the effort, ever since I was a child, and the place I was never able to reach. Am I touching the door with both hands? With the book? No. The door right there in front of me, ready to be opened, and yet still unable to reach the other side? That's right. Your hand is already on the door. Come on, open it with all your strength. And read the characters written on the door. Open it with all my strength. Read the characters written on the door. Strain your eyes. See through to the thing beyond the epitaph written in the notebook. The beloved hometown definitely won't betray our expectations. The only past father held dear happened during his childhood years. That's right. Then what about the Sweetfish River? There are several rivers where they swim, and there's reason to doubt that this just refers to one close to the place father lived. If we take out a map and start calculating which rivers with Sweetfish were closest, things will quickly get vague and we won't be able to narrow it down. Didn't you say it yourself? You said it didn't have to be a river with water flowing down it. If the word Sweetfish is too complicated, why not forget it? Think of a river. A river. Linking it with a family tree wasn't a bad idea. Try thinking about how to link a river with something else along those lines. It isn't a river? But where else could Sweetfish swim? Oh, but if we're talking about places Sweetfish can swim, then maybe the ocean has something to do with this. Didn't my husband even say that they go out into the ocean, even though they're river fish? To the ocean. No. But... Huh?
What is this OST?
Let's see.
I don't think we've ever heard this.
No, this one is called Haruka, which translates to distant.
Interesting.
No.
I'm digging it.
Did you notice? I bet that's just a faint memory. There's supposed to be a room for storing books in this building, right? If you investigate, you can make sure.
Huh?
If that's the Sweetfish River, and if the key might be a 6-character word, then could the key actually be resting in that river? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I have to search in an atlas. But even if I know that, I don't know from what I should take the 6 characters. You really don't know? Think deeply. We're pretty smart, so our ideas are solid. Don't think of it like it's something as massive as the riddle of the epitaph, but like it's a child's riddle. And men are always children, no matter how old they get. Even if father had advanced into old age, it doesn't change the fact that he's essentially a child at heart. But throw away your awe of father. Think of this like it's a worthless, infantile game with riddles, like the ones Maria suddenly brought out on the boat. Riddles. Worthless, infantile. I'm sure that was... what was it? I'm sure if my memory isn't wrong, that it's probably the case. No, I don't have to rely on my vague memory. I should be able to figure that out immediately by searching the library. We've probably already noticed the answer. All that's left is to investigate whether it's correct or not. Come on, Ava. Let's go to the library, making sure no one sees us. There, we should find a mountain of big books that didn't fit in Father's study. I'm sure we'll find a book that answers our question. Quickly. This is the first and last chance we'll ever get to make our dreams come true.
When Nazi tried to lay a blanket over her, Ava suddenly jumped up.
I'm sorry. It looks like I woke you.
Ava, if you're sleepy, don't overdo it. You rest first.
Thank you. I'm just going to the bathroom for a bit to wash my face.
You should take it easy and rest. You're just gonna make yourself feel worse, you know?
I told you I'm fine. I'll be right back.
After leaving only those words behind... Oh, sorry.
You're good. After leaving only those words behind, I rapidly left the lobby. The lobby was partitioned off by a door, so as soon as I went into the corridor, they could no longer see me. Whoa! New background. The library was next to the servant room. Father always opened a vast book collection. Owned. But ever since he started to become engrossed with his occult hobby, that collection grew even larger. So that normal books suitable for a normal study have been forced out as his study overflowed. This so-called library was mostly used as a storage room for those normal books. They were all thick, like complete encyclopedias for intellectuals. But that was very convenient for me, now that I was investigating something. Oh! I entered softly, and just in case, I checked the room with my gun ready, making sure that there were no suspicious people there. And I locked it from the inside. I actually wasn't thinking that the murderer might be hiding somewhere. What scared me was the thought that one of my siblings might hear what I was investigating. My heart had started racing before I realized it. I was half asleep just a moment ago, so I didn't realize how significant this thing I noticed was. But as I gradually became aware, my heart started to feel like it was about to explode. I wonder if any of the other siblings have noticed this. I don't think Klaus and Rudolph will notice. But I don't know about Kyrie. She has extraordinarily good intuition. And I don't know about Rosa either. Rosa's stupid too. She always has been, incredibly so. Really? I'd say she was wise enough to make you think she was stupid so that she didn't earn herself unnecessary malice. Here it is. I wonder if I'll find it in this one. I pulled the book out and flipped through the pages. So this is... a Sweetfish River? I see. This is what the Sweetfish River means. Don't dawdle around. Research further. Yes, I understand. If you follow the river downstream, you will find a village. By using the character... we. You mean a town or something? That's just an area of dense population, so there could be any number of those. Why have you stopped thinking? Was this too much work for you? If only you just give up. If only you just hand your headship over to Kyrie.
She's tweaking so hard right now.
Yeah!
Her inferiority complex is hitting her so hard right now.
Yeah. I don't want to. I will become the head. This is my first and last chance. What is this village? What does it mean? Do you find one if you go down the river? Oh. In the village, look for the shore the two will tell you of. that means sure. Get it? No. I understand. Sure. Right before my eyes. The pieces that I hadn't been able to understand at all began to snap into place, all by themselves. I couldn't even remember to close my open mouth. My throat grew completely dry. Is it really okay for this to be the answer? Really? Really? But this isn't 6 characters at all. I'm absolutely sure this is the answer, but this doesn't reach 6 characters at all. Did you stop thinking again? In that case, think of a way you could read it with 6 characters. If you can't think of one, then research it. There has to be an answer. You must not doubt that. Is believing in that too much for you? If only you just cry yourself to sleep, and then you can just give up and die.
Hey.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh. 6 characters. I found it. This is... the key to the Golden Land. Yes, this is the key to the Golden Land. The key to our childhood dreams. The only keyhole this key can be stuck in is that place. That has to be what offering the sacrifices means. I'm sure you get it by now, right? Oh! Do you get it?
Oh, I knew before Ava did.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've understood the whole time. I've just been waiting for them to catch up.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the Sweetfish River?
Do you know what the Sweetfish River is?
Yes.
You would say that.
Yeah.
I don't know
This
who
way.
this is. Okay.
Hold on, wait, I'll double check. Yeah, okay. Go this way? They're inviting me to go this way.
Fine boom sound effect.
My heart leapt. Because there, gaping wide, was an opened mouth in the eerie darkness. What's this? What is this? When I strained my eyes peering into the darkness, I saw something that looked like a light switch.
How'd she get out of the guest house?
Snuck out. Still in bathroom. In addition, there was a switch with open and close written on it. When I resolutely pushed the switch, rough lights, like you'd find in a coal mine, turned on sporadically.
Oh, so we just have skipped to wherever this is.
Well, it'd be a little unfair if we just told you where it was.
Yeah.
Ava figured it out, though. Making a staircase that stretched underground come hazily into view.
Ava figured it out by using information that was not given to us at all.
Yes, correct. Eerily enough, it looked even more gloomy with the lights turned on. Near the light switch was that open and close switch. It would probably open and close this, but if the open part happened to be broken, I might be shut away in this creepy underground area for all eternity. So for the time being, I didn't touch that switch. And as I readied my gun again, I slowly went down the stairs. She did give a lot of hints, though, throughout her solving it. The ceiling was very high, so it didn't feel cramped. On the contrary, it felt as though a cool breeze was blowing upwards, and that creepiness seemed to form a sort of aura. As I readied my gun and carefully stared forwards, I descended the stairs, The walls, the stairs, the lights, all of them were very old-fashioned. It was easy to suspect this had been built back when the mansion had been constructed on this island. There were cracks in the ceiling, and water clung to the walls, constantly dripping down. That water fell into a gutter that had been set up alongside the stairs, then quickly and silently flowed into the underground darkness, as though it was telling me to go faster. The staircase kept turning back on itself. I don't know how far down I've gone, but I think it's much deeper than one floor. Eventually, a rough metal door showed itself. And there, characters had been written in a dark red paint. They had probably been written a long time ago. On the 10th twilight, at journey's end, you shall attain to the power of the Golden Lens treasures once and for the last time. My heart, which was already about to explode, jumped about even more as soon as I recognized those deep red characters. There's no mistake. This is the last stop. Father's Golden Land. I calmed my throbbing heart, somehow regained my composure, and readied my gun again. But since, in the end, I couldn't open the door with my gun held in both hands, I lowered the gun carefully, hid my breathing, and opened the door.
That's not what a metal door sounds like.
This place is... My first impression when I saw the room was that it might be linked to one of the rooms in the mansion. That's right. It had exactly the same atmosphere about it as the sealed VIP room on the second floor. But this was underground, so there were no windows. There was only the solemn light of a grand chandelier. But even though it was dimly lit by the faint light, the quality of the interior was more than enough to take your breath away.
Oh, there's the gold.
Canopy. Mm-hmm. And a rocking chair that looked like it would be comfortable to sit in.
Bed? Why a bed?
Right?
Yeah.
An extravagant sofa and carpet. The room was like a dream every girl yearns for at least once. And yet, since it was an underground hidden room with no windows, it felt more like the hidden house of a witch. I'd never swallowed the legend of Beatrice, Witch of the Forest. However, after being shown this room, it certainly became hard to doubt that she actually had existed and had lived in this room. Is someone there? Even though I was completely shocked by this room, I carefully, no, timidly, searched the interior with my gun raised.
Have we heard this OST?
No. This is called Happiness of Marionette.
Oh.
And at the back of the room, I found it.
Holy moly.
This one is called... Let me make sure. Oh, sorry, I was wrong. The last song was called Rest. This one is called Happiness of Marionette.
Okay.
Whatever's about to play here. Eek!
Why are you eeking, Ava? Isn't this what you wanted?
It's scary. She didn't expect it. No. My guess came out strangely, like a bunny being choked.
Why do you know what that sounds like, especially in an age where the internet doesn't exist yet?
I think you know.
She probably did it when she was a kid.
Yeah. Well, I can't confirm that, but it sounds like it. After all, after finding something like this, no one would be able to stop that kind of stupid voice from leaking out. It's here. It's really here. Father's gold. On the opposite side of the canopy bed, it was piled up in a massive heap. It was a mountain of gold ingots. Of course, they weren't piled up carelessly in a way that would damage the dignity of this room. beautiful scarlet satin weave was laid on the mountain of gold, creating a beautiful three-color mix between the red, the gold, and the black of the deep darkness. More gold shots, that's funny to me.
God!
It was as though when the witch slept on this bed, the gold would be a respectful chamberlain waiting on her.
Not stamped. None of these are stamped.
Nobly, refinedly, gracefully, beautifully. It was attentively piled there with an imposing air.
It's all pyrite, actually. Fool's gold.
Yeah. When I tried to grab a single gold ingot, I was surprised at its weight. It was probably about 10 kilograms. Just this ingot would probably be worth more than 10 million. The Ushirome family crest, the one-winged eagle, was lightly imprinted on it.
Oh, okay. Maybe they are, and they just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah. Whoever was doing the art for the PS3 version was like, on every bar. It was hard to tell whether it had worn away or whether the impression had been made carelessly in the first place. But it was certainly the crest of the one-winged eagle. Just how many ingots were piled up there? And by doing a quick count here and there, and judging by the height, there had to be a few hundred at least. My mind's already gone blank, so I can't do the math well. Even a moderate guess would put it above several billion yen. That's right. Of course. After all, there's 10 tons of gold, right? At the current value, that's more than 20 billion yen of gold. I found it. Before anyone else. I found it. In front of the mountain of gold, I spread my arms and looked up at the ceiling. A laugh without a trace of dignity flowed out from my entire body. I had no intention of laughing in a weird way, but I couldn't hold back the happy feeling that was flowing through me. My older brother probably wouldn't accept his loss just because I found this gold. But from now on, there would be no changing the fact that I had been the one to find it. To steal away the headship of the family, some more subtle bargaining would probably still be required. But after everything I've gone through until now, that's a completely trivial problem. Even if I lose out on the Ushirome family headship, I already have 20 billion yen worth of gold. At times, I thought that money is such a worthless thing. I thought there were so many things in this world you can't buy with money. But now I see that's just a lie. Just an excuse that the have-nots make for themselves. In front of this mountain of gold, I finally realized something so obvious. By using this money, I can give birth to all the happiness in this world. With this money, my husband's company is already saved. We will always be happy as a family. And I can even leave a vast sum of money to George. The rest of the relatives will eventually be ruined and disappear. At that time, George will use this gold. And just like grandfather did, he will revive the Ushirome family's lost honor. George is the true successor to the Ushirome family. It happened. My wish was granted. That dream I have wished for ever since I was born into this world as Ushirome Eva has been granted completely at this very moment. My husband and I will be happy for all eternity. And I can also give my only son, George, eternal happiness. There's no way I'll waste it on foolish pleasures. My older brother has chewed the Ushirome family to bits, but George and I will revive it. And that means I truly have succeeded the Ushirome family headship. I was successful. I did it. Honey. And George. Your mother, finally succeeded. No one will be able to threaten us now. Oh, whoa. That's right. After this, never again will we be smothered by sad nights. Congratulations, me. Congratulations, Ushumia Ava. Right here, right now, the second half of our life will have its heart's desire granted. It's all thanks to you. I was given this chance because of your magic. Because of that chance, I was able to make it here. Thank you.
Is this where the catch comes in?
But my magic wouldn't have been granted if we both didn't believe in each other. So it isn't just the power of my magic. This is our victory. Because of that, congratulations. Us. Thank you. Me.
Is there a catch, or is she just actually schizophrenic?
Yeah. Thank you, Ushumia Ava. I'm glad I didn't give in before now. I'm glad that I didn't drown in sorrow and forget to keep struggling. No, this is my magic. Our magic. Your magic was the real thing. Beatrice, the Witch of the Forest, is nothing more than an illusion. You are the real witch, a wielder of real magic. That's right. Right now, you are the Golden Witch Beatrice.
Careful. Careful. Beatrice and Battler talking right now, and she just goes, I feel like I've been slighted somehow.
Beatrice goes like, shh.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Like,
What's up? What's up? Wait. Someone got into the room. We have to go. Battler, we have to go. Someone found the room.
Oh, it's not me anymore. Take it.
Oh.
I'm dead.
Yeah. Wow. So the gold is in fact, unless she was having like a vision,
Yeah.
the gold is in fact real.
Yes.
It's
the
not
Golden
fake.
Land is real.
And Kinzo put it in some kind of strange bedroom
Underground place.
where he probably wanted to like do weird things to Beatrice.
I want to make sure the gold watches.
Eva decided to leave for the time being. When she climbed the stairs again, trying to leave this secret place, she saw a creepy, swaying human shadow blocking her path. Okay, here's the catch. And her dreamlike state was blown away.
Who is it?
It's George. She shoots him. For an instant, she believed that the true master of this room, the real Beatrice, had appeared. It seemed that the other person was also holding a gun. The two of them were pointing guns at each other. And eventually, they each realized who the other was. Okay, so it's probably one of the siblings.
Rosa?
That's who I thought it was going to be.
Nason. What are you doing in a place like this? But that's my line. What business do you have in such a place? I shouldn't have given you that hint, Nason. If I hadn't, I definitely would have been the first to reach this place. Too bad.
It seemed that Rosa knew where this staircase went, and what was waiting ahead of her.
You should talk. Even though I reached this place before you. I worried too much about the Sweetfish River. The Sweetfish part didn't really matter that much at all, did it?
See how much they get done when they actually sit down and talk about it?
Yeah.
It took them like 2 hours to figure out where this was.
Rosa couldn't even figure this out by herself in the last game.
Yeah.
When they all come together, 2 of them figure it out at
Boom.
least. Yeah. Now that isn't true. It was an excellent hint, wasn't it? Well, of course, maybe there was no need for it to be sweetfish. But when I heard that sweetfish are fish that go out into the sea, I was able to figure it out. What's inside? Oh, I not see with your own eyes? It definitely won't betray your expectations. Don't be afraid, Nason. I never had any interest in who becomes the head. I don't even care about the Ushiromiya family name.
She's young Kenzo pilled.
Honestly, I actually feel good about you stealing the headship from Krasny-san. He was always swaggering around because of it.
He probably is the worst of the adults to have it, yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one between him and Rudolph. Are you serious? Of course. I'm the outsider of the Ushiromiya siblings. Even if father had named me as the next head, there's no way Nissan would accept it. I try not to have such naive dreams. Let me see too, Nissan. This proof of your victory.
I'm so tense right now.
Yeah?
I feel like this is all like I feel like they're being very fake right now.
As long as I receive the proper portion that the siblings agreed upon, I plan to proactively acknowledge you as the true victor in this game. If you shoot me, then you'll have this gold all to yourself, won't you? The same goes for you. If you shoot me, this gold will all be yours.
For a tense moment, the sisters pointed their guns at each other. Eventually, after they sized up the glint in the other's eyes, they lowered their guns. Ava removed her finger from the trigger and held the gun upside down. It was a position that she couldn't quickly shoot from. When she saw that, Rosa held hers the same way.
I can say for a fact, I just have to say it right now, if this had been Rudolph, he probably would have killed Ava. If this would have been Kraus, he probably would have killed himself by accident.
Yeah.
He would have been scared, shot a bullet, it would have ricocheted and killed him.
Yep.
But anyway.
Yeah, if it was Rudolph, there wouldn't have been a moment for them to figure out who each other was. Rudolph would have just shot.
Boom! Yeah,
Yeah.
off the hip. Oh, that's right. That plan of shooting the other and having all the gold to ourselves is attractive for both of us. But if one of us suddenly disappeared on this island while it's isolated by the typhoon, there would be a huge uproar. If we hid the corpse here, it probably wouldn't be found easily. We couldn't be sure. No matter how many billion yen worth of gold is on the line, it isn't worth the risk of committing murder. On the contrary, that would give Krasny-san and the others ammunition to ring us for all we're worth. I agree. It may have been a blessing in disguise that you're the one who showed up, instead of Nissan or Rudolph. You're the sibling I trust most. Thank you.
Really? Considering how often you like to say she's stupid and dumb and bad and you hate her.
And you're the sibling I trust most, Nissan. I want to see the gold, too. Want to have a peek? Now I feel like seeing it again, too. Even though I saw it with my own eyes, it still doesn't feel real. Unless I see it together with you and confirm once more that it actually exists. It feels like the gold will turn to fog and disappear.
They go back in, all the gold has turned to fog and disappeared. Beatrice laugh.mp3.
Yeah, true.
Ava started descending the staircase once more. However, she didn't carelessly expose her back to Rosa. Even though at a glance it looked like Rosa had lowered her guard, she definitely didn't show any signs of carelessness. No, it's still there.
Yep.
Then, they reached that room of the witch once more. Rosa also gasped, stunned speechless by the vast amount of gold. Gold! Oh, I love gold! I love gold! Smoking a pancake?
Battler powers. Gold witches. I don't know.
Rosa and Ava walked absent-mindedly through the rose garden.
It's raining.
It is. It is.
They just don't care? Okay.
I mean, I feel like they're probably so euphoric right now that they're like, nah, I don't care. I can pay for a hospital bill if I get sick.
Fair enough.
They had left the guest house secretly, so they had to be careful when they returned. It was time to snap to it and keep their guards up.
Congratulations, Nason. Thank you.
I'm waiting for Beatrice to get them because they left everyone and separated from the main group.
You decided it, didn't you, Nason? 50% goes to the one bearing the title of successor to the headship. It certainly worked out well for you.
And they're kind of setting it up a little bit for these two to be the two who are close, because they're close in the fact that they're working together. So Beatrice is going to get them. Beatrice is going to get them. I'm calling it right now.
And now, that portion isn't Kraus Nissan's.
Nope. Wrong person.
Oh, you're right. Now that portion isn't Kraus Nissan's. So your share is now 50%, along with a quarter of the rest, for a total of 12.5 billion yen. So they're just straight skimping out Kraus.
Yeah,
They said he don't
they're
need
working.
that.
They're the two who are close.
That's really funny. Isn't that incredible? 2.5 billion is enough for me. Rudolf Nissan won't complain either. Kraus Nissan will probably be the only one to complain. Yeah, you're right. After all, Nissan is the de facto manager of Rokejima. And since the gold was on these premises, even though I was the first to discover it, things might get complicated if I don't handle it cleverly.
I wonder if Beatrice is going to make it look like they both shot each other.
It won't get complicated. Didn't we give it our all in that discussion last night, with that in mind? I wonder if it will really go that smoothly. I've already completely gotten over my excitement. How we manage everything from here on is the real problem. That's a problem for the new head of the Ushiromiya family. A problem for you to enjoy, Nei-san. It has nothing to do with me. That's some big talk coming from you. I'll support you as the second discoverer, if you'll at least give me the early payment we decided on. I'd like 150 million yen by March. Yes, that will be fine. If you support me, I'll graciously pay you that much. I'm not Nissan. Anyway, why don't we go and shock Nissan and the others? Even if we cover up the actual location, I want to see Kraus Nissan's shocked face as soon as I can. Wait a second, Rosa. Wait a while before telling everyone about it. Huh? Why? You idiot, isn't it obvious? This is that haughty Kraus Nissan and that sly Rudolph we're talking about. Even if we do announce it eventually, it's certainly too early now. Unless we carefully investigate how to make our next move, it's possible that all of the gold we finally found will be snatched away by Nissan.
Eva thought she was saying something extremely natural. So when she saw Rosa's expression suddenly cloud over, she was a little surprised.
What are you unsatisfied about? You know what kind of a person Kraus Nissan is. Nei-san, that's against the rules. What do you mean? Didn't we make a rule that whoever found the gold would announce it immediately? If you hesitate, the foundation of the rules will be destroyed. That could lead to something worse in the future. With Kraus Nissan as crafty as he is, that violation of the rules will come back to bite you. Don't be stupid. This is Nissan's island, and that gold just now wasn't cash. We're talking about the liquidation of a vast 10-ton mountain, right? It will take a significant amount of time to carry it off and turn it into cash. And that will only work in Nissan's favor, since he has a practical control over this island. Don't you even realize that? I don't like it when you search out each other's weaknesses like that. All I want is to reach a clear decision regarding my 2.5 billion portion. Of course, if you were to give me 2.5 billion in cash right now, you'd be free to continue negotiating however you like. But until I have my share in my own pocket, I will follow the siblings' rules. How can you be so naive? You don't understand Nissan's craftiness at all.
It wasn't that Rosa didn't understand the craftiness of her older siblings. In that sense, Rosa more or less understood why Ava was being so cautious. Black square, black rectangle.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
But in her heart, she couldn't clear away her suspicion that Ava wanted to keep all of the gold to herself. Because she knew that Ava was at least as crafty as her other siblings. In other words, Rosa wanted to put a stop to any chance Ava had to keep the gold all to herself, by quickly informing the siblings of the gold's discovery.
Rosa, sorry, but at least listen to me this once. Are you saying that if I don't listen to what you say, you won't be able to get me that 150 million? That isn't the way I wanted to say it. But if you really need that money, supporting me is a more realistic option. If you talk to Nissan and Rudolph, even the portion that's your natural right might disappear. You don't want that, do you?
For a while, a severe expression that she'd never shown to her sister before rose to Rosa's face. There wasn't even a trace of her restraint as a younger sister. There was just the ruthlessness. No, the seriousness of a single human arguing about a vast sum of wealth. The persona is gone.
So the minute that money is involved, Rosa's no longer a little baby brat girl.
Well, I think she does that on purpose to make the other siblings think she's a little baby brat girl.
Maybe. I was thinking she just, like, the money was so much that it basically broke her conditioning. Hard to say, though. Could be purposeful. My, how careless we must be to stand around here talking like this. Even though a frightful murder case has just taken place, and the culprit might still be on this island. I'm sure it was just the servants play acting. Dang. There were no murders on this island in the first place. That, based on last game, that's a very Rosa answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. So, you do think that after all?
Oh, hey, it's back.
Yeah, the thumbnail's here. The circumstances surrounding those 6 deaths show us that clearly. The crime from the outside couldn't possibly have created those 6 closed rooms. Dr. Nanjo said they were all dead, but that was a lie too.
No, Battler proved a crime from the outside could have created those 6 rooms. It just requires a very unbelievable circumstance to have occurred.
This is all a complicated act that Father cooked up. All of the servants are just plain dead. A murder never occurred in the first place. There's no way that there's a murderer prowling around. Huh. I'm surprised you noticed. You looked pretty scared, so I didn't think you'd figured out so much. I'm good at reading the mood of a situation. I've got you to thank for training me so well.
That's right. Come to think of it, now that the servants are dead, almost everyone on this island is a member of the Ushiromiya family. As for Nanjo, he proclaimed the deaths of the servants, But when the relatives began to discuss the riddle of the epitaph, he disappeared off to the second floor as if he didn't want to get in the way.
All of it was an act to get us to try and solve that epitaph. And that's why you need to announce that you are the victor, Nason. There's no way that burnt corpse was really father. He got a corpse with the right number of toes from somewhere and went to all the trouble of burning it in that creepy way of his so we would see it. I'm sure he's hiding somewhere, watching to see how we'll behave. Or that he already knows you reached the Golden Land, Nason.
He was under the bed.
Yeah.
In the Golden Land room.
He was behind the gold. That's why you should announce that you're the winner soon. I'm sure Father will appear out of nowhere to applaud you and proclaim that you're his successor.
I actually hate Ava, so I've decided she's just not going to win.
Mm-hmm. He would. Then again, I've still got to pester you for that 150 million. So I can't stand against you in any way. So you'll listen to what I say and keep quiet about this to Nissan and the rest? Make your position clear, Rosa. I want to tell them. We made that rule just last night. We shouldn't just throw it away. Of course, I will announce it in front of the siblings. However, I want to closely analyze the situation first. We've got to carry out 10 tons of gold, convert it into money, and distribute it fairly. Until I have proof that I can do all that without Nissan getting in the way, I want some time to think. I only want to postpone my announcement until then. I'm certainly not keeping it secret because I want it all for myself. You'll definitely announce it to everyone sooner or later, right? Yes, of course. Even I want to rub it in Nissan's face as soon as I can. About how much time will you need to think? I won't know that until I've thought about it. Will one night be enough? I can't promise you that it'll take only one night. Out of respect for you, the successor, I'll support you for one night. This year's family conference will end tomorrow morning when the typhoon passes and a boat comes to get us. That's right. When the seagulls cry.
Dang, it's been a minute since someone said that.
Yeah. I will remain silent until then.
Does she know?
She says, that's right. Umineko no Naku Koro
Yeah.
ni. If you still feel that you need more time to think after that, then we'll cross that bridge when we get there, okay? I'll support your position to the best of my ability.
Big emphasis on to the best of my ability there.
Yep. You really are cunning, aren't you? I'm surprised. Were you always this resilient? I guess it's true that women become stronger when they have a child. I realized that in myself when I had Maria. Understood. For the time being, thanks for your cooperation. We can't talk about this. We can talk about tomorrow when it comes. Yes, that's right. I'm convinced that you'll become a fair-minded successor to the headship, one who'd never even consider taking all the gold for herself. Isn't that obvious? I will split the gold evenly among the siblings.
Except Kraus.
No
No.
way. Yeah. I found it. Because I, Because we solved the riddle of the epitaph.
There's the catch.
So this gold is all mine.
I've been waiting for it.
I won't give it up to anyone.
Maybe we're gonna go for the weird route, and this Ava and alive Ava, real Ava, are the two who are close.
I am the head of the Ushiromi family. I am.
The witch inside Ava claimed exclusive possession in a loud voice. Of course, that didn't reach even close to Rosa's ears, and it probably didn't reach Ava's either.
Indeed, I shall acknowledge it. You are the true head of the Ushiromi family, chosen by the witch's epitaph. Now I acknowledge it upon my name.
Oh? Ha!
You are... that outfit. You couldn't actually be...
How is she here? What is happening right now? Not Beatrice, but young Ava. What is going on?
Beatrice?
Maybe Beatrice was happy that Ava had called her by her own name. She cackled cheerfully. In concert with that laugh, golden butterflies crept up as though a storm of gold dust was spinning around the room, and the room shone the color of gold.
Indeed, I am the Golden Witch Beatrice. There is no need to be so frightened. I am praising your exploits. Truly excellent. Imagine that you would spectacularly solve that riddle of the epitaph. It is worthy of my admiration.
Beatrice right now throwing a right hook into the entire situation.
You're the one who sent that letter? So I'll inherit all of the gold and the Ushiromi family headship, right? You wrote that in your letter. And I overcame that challenge. Indeed, I shall acknowledge it. Right now, all of the gold piled up here, and everything of the Ushiromi family, is for you to do with as you please. After all, from this moment on, you are already the Ushiromi family head. Really? It's true, right? Right? Do not be agitated. I am openly praising you. As proof, I shall grant you this.
Beatrice took a ring off of her own finger and held it out to Ava. She fearfully accepted it and realized that it was a ring. Dang.
Dang. Could this be? Indeed. This golden ring is proof of the Ushiromi family headship, returned to me from Kinzo. From now on, it is yours. You may place it on your finger and hold it high before your siblings. No one should doubt that you have now succeeded the Ushiromi family headship.
Ava stared closely at the ring. It certainly wasn't a fake. Without a doubt, it was the real thing. She dreamed of receiving this ring someday, focused on this day over and over again, and it was now finally a certainty. This ring had now designated her as the head, and had been handed over to her, and, timidly, she put it on the middle finger of her left hand. The middle finger. Interesting.
Yeah.
In that instant, she felt a deep emotion welling up inside her that she'd never felt before. Her mind grew blank. Both eyes were opened. That ring was on her own finger. Not in a dream, but in reality.
That ring is also pleased. After all, it managed to reach you, one who dreamed of putting it on their finger for so long. The ring. Father's ring. How many nights have you dreamed of putting that on your finger, as you have done now? The strength of those feelings became your magic and materialized itself. Now, you are worthy of calling yourself a great witch. Who are you? Are you really Beatrice? I am the Golden Witch Beatrice, the Ushiomi family alchemist. In accordance with my contract with Kinzo, I will now pass everything on to you. All of the gold I entrusted Kinzo with, and all of the wealth he built up through that. And the honor and headship of the Ushiomi family. And I will pass on my power and the title of the Endless Witch.
Oh, was that in the contract?
I think so.
Was it? Okay. Dang. It's kind of... Honestly, it's kind of a big middle finger to other Ava.
Yeah.
In this entire situation, which I think is really funny that out of nowhere, this random past Ava apparition has appeared and is now like, I win.
It's true.
Everyone else just loses. I win.
But
not even me gets to win. Not current me, just me from the past.
Normal Ava didn't solve the epitaph though. Past
True.
Ava did. The title of the witch. I will pass on all of my magical power and the titles of the Golden Witch and the Endless Witch. Following my predecessor's example, I will hand over my name Beatrice along with that title.
Beatrice 3.
You may now call yourself by that name.
And now Beatrice is Dante. No.
Yeah.
Ava gulped. The chandelier light, which had seemed dim, now felt too bright.
Okay, I'm confused now because I'm waiting for it to just like switch, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to figure out which voice is which now. But anyway, by my name, I shall now commence the succession of the Golden Witch.
Everything's happening in episode 3. Holy moly.
I know. Remember when we stopped and I was like, we stopped.
Never
before
seen this
all the
before.
heat? Oh yeah, don't worry about that. That's just the audience hall.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the audience hall. Yep.
Yeah, audience hall. Yeah.
The instant Beatrice made that proclamation, everything was buried by a golden sparkle, and changed into a majestic place that looked like an audience hall. The audience hall.
The audience hall.
In the audience hall, there was a crowd of Beatrice's minions and brethren, as well as...
Omedetou?
Yep. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
As well as countless gold butterflies celebrating this first secession ceremony in 1,000 years. When she looked, she saw Beatrice in the throne that only the Endless Witch was permitted to sit in, holding a golden staff, reigning with a dazzling dignity. Without being ordered by anyone, Ava automatically kneeled, hanging her head. A goat attendant respectfully handed Beatrice a golden staff in the shape of the one-winged eagle. After Beatrice stood up and received that staff, she laid the tip of it on Ava's shoulder and spoke. It was a proclamation 1,000 years in coming.
Ushiromiya Ava, you have spectacularly solved the riddle of the witch's epitaph and reached the Golden Land. I praise that accomplishment, and hand over all of the endless magic, as well as the titles of the Golden Witch and the Endless Witch. From this point forth, you may call yourself by my name, Beatrice. There was a tips.
Oh, was there?
Yeah.
We got a new one. Yep. Ava Beatrice. Evangelion Beatrice.
Yeah. Also, what a glow up.
Yeah. Nice hat. Solved the riddle of the witch's epitaph and was welcomed as the new Endless Witch. She was gifted with an aptitude for magic and is expected to grow into an extraordinary great witch. This genius of a witch often overindulged in her own power during her younger days. Such are the trials only geniuses may endure, and if she proves successful, her name will surely be engraved into the history of Endless Witches. Will she be able to overcome the trials that forced her predecessor to surrender? Dang.
I like her
Also,
stick.
past tense right here. Interestingly, this genius of a witch often overindulged in her own power during her younger days. Past tense. Interesting. And now we do have a line of succession here now,
It's
too.
a lineage, yeah.
Yep. Interesting. All right.
Everything that was Beatrice's is now hers, including Beatrice's furniture. If you saw the Ronove and the
Yep.
goats and the sisters were all there. Come, raise your face, then stand and accept this staff.
So, what does Beatrice do now? What?
That's what we're gonna find
Does she
out.
just, like, exist?
I will tell you. I don't know if the visual novel ever does this. The fan base often does not call this Ava Beatrice. They call her Avatrice.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So at least that's how I'm gonna be referring to her if ever I need to.
Yeah.
But anyway. I am most grateful.
Ava stood up dizzily and took the magic staff from Beatrice's hand. Her hand was trembling slightly. As soon as she grasped that staff, she was wrapped up in the brilliant sparkle of gold, as though gold butterflies were flowing out from inside of her. In the instant she succeeded the Golden Witch, Ava felt something in the depths of her soul be reborn. To describe it in a word, it was energy. Energy with a gold color. It felt like she was waking up, as though she had been half asleep ever since she had been born and was opening her eyes for the first time. It felt as though her true eyes inside her eyes were open for the first time in her life. Dang. Yay! Omedeto!
Congratulations. Oh,
Hey,
that's probably gonna
it's
be our
us!
thumbnail for the next one.
It's us! Look, we're back here.
Yeah, look
that's
at us
you and
hanging out
me.
back
That's
there.
you.
That's us. Why do I look upset?
You're probably gonna miss Beatrice. You're gonna miss Beato.
Maybe.
I am unmoved by this situation. I am.
As usual. Yep. Indeed. A fitting and beautiful outfit for the Golden Witch. Come, you may show yourself to all of these people. Let them know that the new witch is indeed you.
Eva, no. The new Beatrice turned around timidly. When she did, the witch's minions, which filled the vast audience hall, honored her with an applause that sounded like the roaring of the sea.
One of the stakes also, oh, we missed it, but one of them looked also skeeved off. I don't know
I
what's
saw.
going on there.
I saw.
Yeah.
Just because they have to honor her doesn't mean they're not upset by it.
True. Come, everyone. Replace all of the portraits of Beatrice with the new Beatrice. Lift up words of celebration for the new Beatrice.
They have all worked for this Beatrice, presumably for around 1,000 years, so I would be probably pretty peeved if I liked this Beatrice.
Yeah, I always hate it when my managers change.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a good angle.
No, not at all.
Oh,
A new Beatrice, congratulations on the succession of the Golden Witch. I hope that you will become able to stand on your own as a proud Golden Witch, and as the Endless Witch.
yes, I will do my best.
I expect a composure befitting the Endless Witch from you, unlike your naughty predecessor.
Teacher, we're in the middle of a serious ceremony, so please, enough of that. Congratulations on the succession of the Golden Witch. A new Beatrice Summer. I am called Ronove. I am one of the 72 demons permitted to serve the Golden Witch. If you are ever inconvenienced in the slightest, please let me know at once.
Is Battler gonna be here?
Well, we'll see.
I'm curious now.
Thank you. Ronove is rude, but reliable. If anything confuses you in your new days as a witch, speak to this man, and he should be able to help you. Predecessor Beatrice Summer.
Okay, now it's gonna get it confusing.
I know. It is a shame that I was not permitted to serve you further, even though we have finally been reunited like this.
This is why they made Virgilia take a name.
Yeah. These last 1,000 years have been very entertaining for me. You have my deepest gratitude. Indeed. 1,000 years with you wasn't boring. Please take care of the new witch. Yes, I, Ronove, will obey the final order of the former Beatrice. You better thank me, okay?
Yeah! Finally!
I gave my signature to recommend you for the succession of the witch, got it?
Dang, there's recommendations in this business?
Oh yeah, you have to have something on your resume.
Dang!
In other words, if I hadn't signed, you wouldn't have been able to become a witch. So thank me a little, okay?
I feel like it would be very easy to pressure Lambda Delta into giving you a recommendation.
You think so?
Yeah.
This is the Witch of Certainty, Lady Lambda Delta. The recommendation of a witch from the Senate was required for your succession as an endless witch.
There's a Senate? There's... What? Magic Land needs... I need it to be explained to me. I need...
Remember that Battler is also watching all of this happen.
Yeah. And
Whether or
again,
not
I
he's
am
in the room
Battler
physically.
pilled still. Where
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a Senate? Beatrice! You've got some explaining to do!
So somebody elected Lambda Delta? No.
Somebody recommended Lambda Delta.
Lady Lambda Delta recommended you and became your guardian.
Dang! Hey, you got super paper on your side.
The face! Thank you. Hey, Beato! This kid isn't grateful enough. I think I'll take back that recommendation.
Nope, too late. She's the endless witch now.
A person making these recommendations shouldn't act like a child, right? If you've signed, make sure you take responsibility.
Lady Lambda Delta is also the Witch of Certainty. The Witch of Certainty prefers to make fate firm to create a fate of certainty. She really liked and highly valued your efforts until today. Well, you had that unfortunate childhood, all that unrewarded effort. I can sympathize just a bit with that.
Her face, it amuses me.
Yeah. It's not like I felt sorry for you or anything, so don't be so full of yourself. Soon.
From my point of view, your secession, well, it was more of a coincidence than a miracle. It isn't worthy of my recommendation.
Haha, this is Lady Banquet. She's quite hard to please. Still, you could say that just having her participate in this celebration makes you exceedingly lucky.
By the way, I've been meaning to tell you, I've seen her little thing now. Her, what is it? That...
Oh, you've seen
I've seen the one, yeah, from Higurashi.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It's funnier now that you have that context.
yes,
It's
yes
very
it is.
I only came because this is a rare once-in-a-millennium event, and I heard there'd be some good sake.
Oh, I don't have the notes. Hold on 1 second.
I'm Satan, Lucifer, and a third one. Leviathan? I think I'm Satan, Lucifer, and Leviathan because I remember Leviathan because it has my name in it, and then Satan and Lucifer, I put them together because of obvious
Okay.
reasons.
I got the list. You are definitely Lucifer, so we'll start there.
Okay.
We'll just address it as we need to.
New Beatrice-sama, please come greet us as well.
Huh? Oh, I'm pleased to meet you.
The 7 sisters of Purgatory were gathered in a line. The eldest sister, Lucifer, took a step forward and kneeled.
This is furniture that serves me. As a gift to celebrate your inheritance, I will send them to you. Once you succeed the position of Golden Witch, you will need to carry out the resurrection ceremony for yourself. The 7 Sisters of Purgatory perform an essential role in that ceremony.
Oh, so she's just offloading the ceremony.
Yep. They're a villainous bunch, but they serve their purpose. Have them do whatever you wish.
We will always be by Beatrice Sama's side. Please order us to do anything you desire. We'll accomplish our tasks without fail.
I gotta say, everything that she just said, that like whole block there, sounded like something you'd hear if you pulled her in a gacha game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As soon as she pops up, we will perform our duty without fail.
Yep. Give me that. Give me the Higurashi verse gacha game.
I would go so hard for that. Me wasting thousands of dollars in Lambda
All
Delta.
the SSRs are the witches, obviously.
Mhm.
And then you've got the lower ones, which are like, yeah, all the furniture and their stuff. Yeah. Even after that.
Star Kraus.
Even after that, many nobles and minions visited and offered words of congratulation for the new witch. And of course, the legendary 6-star Goda.
Yeah, magical Goda chef.
Magical Goda chef. As she responded to them confusedly, she felt as though she was growing lightheaded due to the lack of oxygen. You'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Once you get 1,000 years under your belt, She couldn't tell if this was something real or unreal. But there was just one thing she could understand. A feeling of achievement at being permitted to call herself the Golden Witch. That alone was a truth she could definitely understand. Again, really bad angle. Really bad. And we saw it earlier too. It's not like it is just on the wall at a straight angle. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
What is all this? Of course, I'm not gonna swallow this story, but what in the world does it mean? Aunt Ava is the new Beatrice? Are you saying she's turned into a witch? What the hell?
I was also surprised to think that someone would be able to solve that riddle. However, that is the rule. I must follow it and pass on the position of Golden Witch and my name. It is hardly something to be surprised about. At the very beginning, you wrote that rule in a letter and announced it. Ava-sama was simply the first to be successful. If she was a little bit later, it would have been Rosa Triss.
No, Rosa Umineko.
True, Rosa Umineko.
That would be Rosa
Witch.
Umineko, yeah.
Oh, Marie would be in trouble then.
Virgilia? Are you there?
Yes, here I am.
What does this farce mean? Farce?
He upped his vocabulary. He's been hanging around smart people.
Yeah, he's been staying around Beatrice for too long. She's starting to change his vocab.
Yep.
Even if this depiction of strange witches showing up one after the other is some of her bullshit, isn't this almost like Aunt Ava turned into a witch?
Calm yourself. She has simply received the title of Endless Witch, and might call herself that in the future. This secession ceremony is certainly nothing more than an act to promote that child's explanation. Don't fall for the same move over and over again.
That's right.
Say it.
That whole grand ceremony was all phony.
Say Braun.
But it's at least a fact that Aunt Ava solved the riddle of the epitaph. And at the same time, that means she succeeded the Ushiromiya family headship. And after getting 10 tons of gold, Aunt Ava might as well call herself the Golden Witch. Is that it? Damn, it's as complicated as ever.
My. He's a boorish human unable to comprehend the grandeur of this ceremony. Oh well. Being unable to read between the lines is what makes you human. I pity you, but I do not blame you.
Damn it. Don't look at me like you feel sorry for me. Still, for the time being, there's something I need to check. And that's regarding this younger version of Aunt Ava. In other words, the definition of this new Beatrice. What is that?
Even if I tell of it, you will just persist in your disbelief in magic and witches, correct? So there's nothing in particular for me to explain. Feel free to believe in whatever it seems to be to you.
What it seems to be to me? Then how should I interpret this?
For now, it might not hurt to view it as a visualization of a separate entity inside Ushiromiya Eva.
Of course, you cannot blindly accept that answer, but it is probably a reasonable theory to hold for the time being.
In other words, I should think of Aunt Ava and her as the same person, right? Damn. I don't like where this is going.
In any case, from now on, my name is no longer Beatrice. I have passed it on to Ushiromiya Eva. Which means that I am nameless. Battler, don't you have some name that'd be fitting for me?
OMG, I can't believe Beatrice Umineko got invited to the Astral Express in Honkai Star Rail.
I am nameless. I shall accept your recommendation.
Oh, she wants it
How
so
about
bad.
a name that's refined, full of elegance, and a little cute too, if you can.
She wants it so bad. Just Beato is good enough for you. There's probably a big enough difference between Beato and Beatrice to keep people from getting confused. I was hoping it would have changed.
So the same old Beato, is it? It doesn't feel wrong, but it's boring for some reason. They say the temperature of black tea and a woman's heart are difficult to gauge in any era.
Battler-kun, at any rate, stay calm from this point onwards. The fact that we can now tell her and Ushiromiya Eva apart works to our advantage, compared to the time when that child was still Beatrice.
And that's exactly why I like it even less. What's she thinking, that Beato? I can't wait till we get to the part where Beatrice has to explain to Ava that she's locked in an eternal battle with her nephew now.
Yeah.
Over there, the witches formed a long line to bless Aunt Ava.
You also know for a fact that at one point she would be like, "Oh, which am I? Is it gonna be Rosa's kid? Is it Krause's kid?" Like, "Oh no, it's Rudolph," and she's gonna be like, "It's Rudolph's kid?
What?
Is he locked in a struggle with?" Like,
How?
yeah. Oh man.
Beatrice, he's just so stubborn.
He is stupid.
He is so stupid. You can't win. Listen to me. I've been keeping up a good ruse for a while now, but I don't know what to do.
Family.
Who had the figure of her younger days and who now possessed the name Beatrice. It was like a witch's coronation. The countless gold butterflies flapped their wings, directing this fantastical gold sparkling space. They were all praising her. As I stared from the distance, I looked at the newly born Beatrice, who had a slightly embarrassed smile on her face. Her expression, which had been lost and confused at first, seemed to be full of the happiness that she was finally starting to recognize. That expression didn't look at all like someone laughing insanely while standing before the gold. There was just the innocence of a person basking in their own joy. As a person who denied the existence of witches, I couldn't view this witch secession ceremony with a joyful expression and accept her. However, when I looked at that innocent smile, I felt like I wanted to offer my blessings just for that moment. It's always beautiful when strong efforts bear fruits and are rewarded. Aunt Ava, who had always yearned to succeed the headship and who had worked hard since her youth without reward, had spectacularly taken hold of the chance given to her by the riddle of the epitaph and had finally gained that position. How divine is the smile of a person whose childhood dreams have been granted. I definitely won't accept witches, but... Badler put his hands together, making a small sound. I don't know if you heard that, but no, I clapped twice.
But I don't know the other ones.
The audience might have.
Heard it. Yeah.
It didn't reach her ears, but it did bless her. That's like a thing they do in Shintoism, right? The little claps when they go to shrines.
They have one, yeah. If you clap twice and then pray.
Congratulations, Aunt Ava. You spectacularly solved the riddle of the epitaph before anyone else. It's your victory, without any complaints. I won't accept all that about the Golden Witch and so on, but I will accept you as the new head of the Ushiromiya family, and I'll celebrate that sincerely. As though urged on by Badler's applause, Beato also clapped. I heard that from you.
Yeah.
It was a slightly odd scene. Badler and Beato, who opposed each other, were standing side by side and applauding the same person. I'm not applauding for a witch. I'm clapping for all of Aunt Ava's efforts up until now.
As am I. I offer my sincere applause as a blessing to Ava, who spectacularly solved that epitaph.
I don't like applauding with you. But, well, I've decided that I won't worry about it now. Divine punishment won't fall on me just because I clap with you every once in a while.
It's not so bad every once in a while. Still, it is fun to applaud. Even though it was Ava who was successful and not me, for some reason, I'm starting to feel happy too.
That's because blessing someone means the same thing as sympathizing and sharing with them.
I see. Then, I have even shared this irrational happy feeling with you. Since we are a pair of enemies trying to make each other surrender, it is an odd experience.
Well, just for now, let's have a truce and clap, okay? Beato laughed impishly, playing around and applauding even louder, as though eagerly trying not to lose to Badler as she clapped. They're both so soon. Badler went along with her and clapped even louder. Dang, just the two of them making that much noise.
Yep.
When he did, as though some ceremony had ended, everyone applauded and highly praised the reborn Beatrice. It was just as though Badler's and Beato's applause had been the final thing needed for her succession. Well, there you go.
Boomba!
I knew that character existed. I did not know when we were going to find her, though.
Yeah, did you know her name?
Yes, because I got spoiled because of the fighting game.
Yeah, don't look at the fighting game, brother.
I saw one
huge spoilers
like
in the fighting game.
3-second clip of it one time because someone had like put it in a video that was like a Umineko meme video. And so I was like, well, I don't know who that is or when she's happening. I can put 2 and 2 together considering what her name is. But I don't know how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, so...
Another very funny thing about that is in most of the text to differentiate between like modern day Ava and old Ava, or you know what I'm talking about, like young Ava, this one, they'll also just put all caps Ava, which is really funny. Because it's like you have lowercase Ava and then Ava. Like
Evangelion.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think it's been a little over 2 hours now.
It has. I think this is a fantastic place to stop because that's
This
the
is
end
a
of a
fantastic
chapter.
place to stop.
And
Quite a
it's about
good
to go
end
off the
point.
rails
Again?
even more. Yeah.
I was about to say, could it go off the rails even more than it already has? Like,
It's going to keep going off the rails until we're into the next episode. I'm just going to be honest.
all right.
Like, I would say even until the end, but that's not true because there is a twist thing they throw in at the end of this episode that
Dang.
makes it even more off the rails. Yeah.
Well, episode 3 so far has probably been my favorite.
It goes hard.
Although I will say, without episode 1 and 2, I wouldn't have been able to like appreciate it as much as I have. So
Exactly.
it's all a whole journey of getting there. But with that in mind, episode 3's gone hard so far.
Mm-hmm.
All right, audience. I think we're gonna go
Yeah.
ahead and get out of here. So let me just
Tell us what your favorite episode was or is
so
in
far.
the comments below.
and then do it again when we finish episode 8. Any other announcements, Pertuset, for the week before we go?
A lot of the usual. We're going to be a new video tomorrow, a new Tyranria video. I'll
Woo.
be streaming Symphony of the Night on Tuesday.
Woo!
Podcast should be out on Wednesday.
Woo!
There should be a new Tyranria again on Thursday.
Woo!
And then we should be back here about the same bat time on the same bat channel for more Umineko next week.
All right. I'll see you all